Greetings, GameCola faithful. This is podcast number 79, I guess. With me today, we have Anna Bryniarski, Jeff Nemeth, Michael Gray, and Diana Gray. Everyone introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Anna Bryniarski, and I write for GameCola when I'm not in school. That seems to be the trend.
I'm Jeff Nemeth, and I draw for GameCola.
Do you?
Whenever I feel like it.
I'm Michael Gray, and I try to write for GameCola, but usually I don't.
That's discouraging. And I'm Diana Gray, and I occasionally try and do things that seem important for GameCola. Like fangirl a lot.
Yep.
I thought we were going to
right?
say, like, she tries to sing for GameCola.
I mean, I could, but no.
Michael Gray dances for GameCola.
Yeah.
There you go.
Usually, that happens. Usually I'm out on the streets, in the street corner with a sign that says, please give me food. And then I turn it around. On the other side, it says, visit our website, gamecola.net. So I try to give GameCola some publicity, at least, 12 minutes a day.
That's nice. Good job.
So what are our topics for today?
Well, okay. I would say, and this is the issue, is that if we had recorded a Halloween-themed podcast last month, I guess it would have worked because, the entire month of October is the month of Halloween.
Yeah, basically.
But I feel like it's too far, and, I don't think about it, I'm not...
Well, we can still do it now.
But it's going to be out on November 2nd. Will people still be Halloweening, or will they be like...
Didn't Dan say in the email that it's like Dia de los Muertos or something, so it's still like a scary day?
Yeah, but we're all, white people here, aren't we?
People in different countries. Might be a couple days later for them.
Well, Jeddy, what if we talked about all the football games and pretended it's a Thanksgiving podcast?
See, and that's what I was thinking, is that we can talk about, oh man, family and eating a lot of food and watching, quote, the game, right?
We're going to watch...
So, Jeddy, we all know that shameless plug for your game about pizza and outer space.
Yes. Actually, I just finished writing up, immediately before hopping on this podcast. I was writing, post-mortem, I guess, maybe you would call it, or just a development blog or whatever, about my recent sudden surge in popularity in the game for 3 whole days.
Yeah, that was cool.
It got its its time in the 4 colors of limelight.
That's beautiful.
Get it?
Well, I had a topic.
I got
too.
it. I got it.
Did you have a topic, Michael?
What is your
Yes,
topic?
this was mentioned on the RPG cast, how there are various characters that always reappear, stereotypes you would call them, you have the hero who's lost his memory, or you have the big burly guy that doesn't talk a lot. Yeah. And I was just going to wonder why that is. Why do we see the same types of characters over and over in RPGs and in Japanese dating sims? Just because I've played a lot of these Japanese dating sims, and I see the same type of character reappear over and over again. And I'm just wondering why, because they seem like horrible characters that I would never want to date in real life.
Yeah. And
yet they keep showing up in these dating sims. You have the mean guy who constantly insults you, or the cold guy who just never says anything at all.
Well, and then there's everyone's favorite, which is the one who, whenever you're in public is always, angry with you. But then when you get them, in private, they're really, shy and sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you guys can stop talking about me now. It's fine.
No,
I like all of these boys. So.
There's tropes, and then dating sims take it to the extreme with their moe, whatever.
Yeah, that's what I'm basing my response on the fact that I have watched Ouran.
Yeah.
High School Host Club. Yeah, that's what I'm basing this on. I'm gonna say that the typical types of boys that you run into in any given Japanese dating sim are just it's a thing.
Yeah.
It's always going to happen. You're always going to have those cliches because that's how the culture works. There's always each type, and the different types appeal to different kinds of girls.
Yeah.
But why
That's
is it
my answer to you.
impossible to have a character who, say, has more than one personality?
Because that's way
type?
too complicated.
Look, if he wears glasses,
Like, maybe...
then he's gonna be like
glass
cold and
character.
like logical.
Those are my favorite.
Really?
Yeah.
Why can't he like basketball and theater?
No.
Be like High School Musical, man. Very well-developed character there.
They had a whole song about how you can't do that.
They had a whole song about how you can't like two different things.
Didn't they?
Yes, they did.
Okay,
But
just making
they
sure.
also had a song when he learned that it's okay to like two different things.
But the other song had a bigger dance number.
You're right. Okay. That's why in the second movie he had to learn that lesson again.
Yeah.
And also in the third movie.
He was so awed by the huge dance number, the single activity song, that he just forgot everything else.
Anna, were you the one who reblogged the two GIFs that were like High School Musical / Harry Potter?
Yes.
I love that one.
I don't know what that is. What is that? Was that like
One of those, it's
Recently?
like those gifts that you blog them, like, it was Troy, like, banging on the steps. Instead of wake up Potter, we're going to the zoo.
Oh my- That's so funny. I'm looking for that right now.
I enjoyed that.
I was like, what does anyone else have anything to say about that?
Well, I don't know. You probably know more about tropes than I do because I don't hang around on TV tropes. But what does moe mean? Is that a Japanese word?
Yeah, like the actual original like basis for it is kind of confusing to me. Apparently it has something to do with like sprouting, I think. And like I guess it's supposed to be sort of like, you know, there is a seed in your heart and it blossoms or whatever is my understanding. But like in general as a cultural thing, just that like, you know, historically you had like anime throughout the ages that would have these characters that people really liked, and like in the 70s or whatever somebody just came up with this idea of like somebody who they would like, and then in the 80s they were like, remember that one show that had this character, we should do something that's like that. And then in the 90s they were like, remember those shows in the 80s that had these characters, let's do something like that. And it just keeps going, like cycling further and further until instead of being an actual character, people just want the concept, and they've like filed it down into this perfect form that like, I don't know, the various deres that you'll see, tsundere and kudere and whatever, like all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I mean I looked for moe online and the thing which showed up was actually, let's look for this. Perverse sexual lust trope. So I'm a little concerned here. I think I'm going to stay away from this.
Yeah, that might...
Hold on. Ooh. Because we're inviting the master of moe himself, Matt Jonas. Isn't that right? Actually, I guess we should probably invite Stu Jip if we wanted to talk about moe, shouldn't we? Isn't he the one that's always...
I don't bloody know. What's up to? By the way, you're now in my headphones, so everything's okay. That was scary.
Yes, hello.
Hello.
No, we were just talking about like why moe tropes exist, because we were talking about Michael Gray's Japanese iOS dating sims and stuff.
I could give you a legitimate reason why those tropes exist, but it would be a boring history lesson that would just like put 90% of the listeners off.
Well, I was just saying that basically, you know, it just kind of got going until you ended up with like, you know, tsundere and kudere and all those others.
Yeah, I think they just call them moe blobs. Just by that time, they're just a face with like attachments on them, and it's just like, there you go, there's your character.
Yeah.
It's a face.
I was wondering if maybe just the way the games are is part of the reason, because it's a lot easier to make like 5 of the games when the characters are the same in every single game.
It's also easier to, like, when you're making a dating sim, to make the options and have the players know what the options are going to, like, do for the given character, you know? Mm-hmm. So, like, from a design standpoint, it does simplify things.
So, I've stepped into this moe discussion, right?
Yes.
I thought this was a horror podcast. Or is this the horror that I walk in and people are discussing Moe?
Do we have a game like that, Jeddy, or is there like a horror themed dating sim?
Was it Liar Liar? I mean, it wasn't really horror.
Michael, get on
There's got
top
to
of
be
it.
at least one.
Yeah, I mean, I know that there
Surely.
probably are, and like,
Dr. Google.
It's not exactly a dating sim, but something that I think of that has those tropes and that is a horror game is Corpse Party, which I'm watching a walkthrough of right now. Don't ask why. But I wanted to do something for Halloween, but I don't want to actually play it myself because it'll scare the crap out of me. So I decided to watch it, and I definitely noticed those tropes in that. But I mean, that's pretty straightforward. It was translated directly and brought over here, so I don't know if that exactly counts, but that's something.
How about Heartful Boyfriend?
That's
That's scary, isn't it?
Oh, that's...
I'm looking here. Apparently there's one called Kokanoe Kokoro, Creature to Koi Shio, which is the love between a teenage boy and a human-sized cricket.
okay. I think I heard
That sounds
creepier
pretty
than
scary to me.
So-
Yeah, I think it's the case of with Japan, they have what they call a visual novel. They'll have a horror visual novel, but it will have elements of the dating in it.
Yeah.
So I see one of them listed on this convenient list on GameFAQs. Corpse Party's listed here, and also something I've played before called Divvy Dead. And now I think about it, yes, that could be seen as a horror dating sim. It's also definitely not safe for work.
I was thinking, like, how could you do a horror dating sim? Because either you could be dating, like, you know, a zombie, or like, you know, your options could be horror tropes of like dating, like who you can date. Or
The problem with something like that, though, is it would be incredibly cheesy. It's like you go to Monster High School,
Yeah.
and there's the mummy,
Yeah.
who the twist is she actually has 3 kids.
Oh,
Mummy.
yeah, I get it.
And
I don't know
you
if that would
could date
translate.
Medusa, but you're not allowed to look at Medusa,
Yeah.
because if you do, you turn to stone. So like you've got to admire her from afar, and it would just end up being incredibly cheesy.
But like, and then I was also thinking you could have like sort of like American horror movies where it's like a bunch of teenagers who are like trying to escape a murderer, but like at the same time you're trying to like win over the other teenagers, you know?
That sounds
whenever-
interesting.
Whenever
I'd
you
play
fall in love
that.
with somebody, they get killed.
Like, well, you can be like, who do you pick to like cower under the table with? You know?
This sounds awesome. Somebody make this.
Like, do you follow, you know, the like tomboyish one to go like hunt down the person, or do you like run away with the shy one? Like, what do you? And then
Wow.
whoever lives is the one that you end up going out with.
That's so much better than my game. My game is just the main character gets spam email and she's sick of it.
That does sound pretty horrifying.
Yeah.
Oh boy. So I recently played a Japanese dating sim called Kissed by the Baddest Bidder,
Okay.
What? Right, Googling.
which is one where our main character is she works for a hotel as the housekeeping staff, and it turns out the hotel is running a smuggling ring or something like that.
All
So
right.
they stole the Venus de Milo from like France, and our heroine accidentally knocks it over and breaks it, and so the smugglers kidnap her and sell her to the baddest bidder.
I
Oh.
see.
And for some reason, she gets to decide which of these 5 evil men who bought her gets to be the one who owns her as a slave. I didn't play this game for very long.
Can't imagine why.
Well, you have to pay for it.
That's why.
But also, that's kind of a bad premise.
Yeah.
Yes.
But all of the
Apparently there's
guys...
loads of in-app purchases, so that's completely turned me off.
Mhm.
There's no way I'm ever going to be able to get into a game that's full of in-app purchases.
Basically, the way this particular game works is that you get to buy like 10 chapters at a time. I don't know. Part of the reason why this game was horrible is that there was no text box. All the text was white, and it just goes above whatever's on the background.
Oh, that's awful. Did they not even dim it or anything?
Nope. So when it's above a white background, you can't read it really.
Oh, that's terrible.
I can't believe they had this in a paid app, and in the free apps they have text boxes. I don't know what they were thinking.
They lull you in with a false sense of quality. You're like, oh, this is going to be good. Then you get the actual game and it's terrible. Text boxes, $1.99 in that purchase.
Yeah. Like DLC quest, like you have to pay to like jump.
that game was so much fun. That was so much fun to play. Now I think about it, I reviewed it, didn't I?
What on earth?
What?
Do I want to know?
I'm playing this game called Master ReBoot. I put a triangle on a tree, and for some reason this crow just did like a supersonic scream that busted this big gym stuff.
So it sounds like you got lucky.
No, apparently that's what I'm supposed to be doing.
So you're playing a horror game.
It's like a suspense game where you... Well, let me give you a little backstory on it. Basically, you're like this... when people die, they upload their soul to like a cloud, like the cloud.
I like where this is going.
So you're playing as one of the memories, but there's a virus in the cloud that's trying to kill you also. So you have to explore all these distant memories of yours. And trying to save yourself from the virus.
Does this have anything to do with the TV show ReBoot?
I don't think so.
I am incredibly disappointed. Like, seriously, they just need to make a reboot game. Because as far as I know, there was never a reboot game. And it
Michael,
was just
get on it.
Asking for it. Not unless there was something like Reboot Star Stackers on PlayStation or something. There was like some mobile phone game in 2005 or something. In which case, I'm completely proved wrong. Which is fine.
Reboot video game.
Video game.
How do I reboot my video game?
No, because I went to Wikipedia. Here you go. It was for the PlayStation. Megabyte has found a way to use the power of energy tiers to reach the core of the principal office thanks to hexadecimal's mirrors and is determined to take over mainframe. You play as the lead character, Bob. Mending tiers and destroying deadly adversaries in the 6 sectors of mainframe.
Confused.
Did it come out over here in Europe? Because if it did, I'm gonna make it my next game I buy.
It lists a PAL date, February 7th, 1998.
Oh, nice. Okay, shouldn't be too hard to find then.
I want to see screenshots of the game. Hold on, the screenshots that I'm seeing, he's like flying around on a rocket board shooting something.
Shooting at something, shooting something, or shooting something at something.
You tell me. Like, I'm waiting for this to finally load so I can click on the thing.
Okay, let's have a look at this. Because this, I'm curious now because I thought, you know what reboot means? It needs a video game, and now I find out it has a video game.
Yeah.
So like, all my prayers are answered. I could just curl over right now and just pass away, and I'd be happy.
Okay, sorry. I was pronouncing it tier because I'm an idiot. It's supposed to be tear.
Repairing a tier.
Yeah, I was looking at that. I was like, that doesn't make any sense.
Well, it actually looks kind of decent for PlayStation.
Yeah.
Doesn't it? Like, the textures are quite nice. The city looks like a city.
Hold on.
So, you know, I'll fire up eBay right now on the iPad, see how much. I can't do any buying right now, but
the game actually.
I'll have a look.
The game actually controls similar to Tony Hawk's games.
Yeah, I saw that written down. I'm like, oh, I like Tony Hawk's. You guys are responsible for like half my spending, you know, right?
Yeah.
This one thing, and you're now completely responsible.
PlayStation was such a weird era. Like PlayStation, Nintendo 64, like Sega Saturn or whatever.
Everything on that console, especially on the PlayStation, everything was sort of haphazard. Like, if it worked, and they just went with it. Like you look at those games now, and the way they're put together, it's just sort of like really messy.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's what made some of those games so good, was because they were rough around the edges. They also were on the PlayStation because everything looked so sharp and disgusting.
Well,
which is one of the reasons why I have such fond memories of the system.
what was it? There was a GameCola discussion topic recently about this. Where was it? Was it the ugliest game? Oh no, it was the racing one. What was the best racing game of PlayStation, Nintendo 64, Sega Saturn?
Diddy Kong Racing.
Paul said Cruisin' USA.
That game is kind of ugly. But I've also heard that you can just drive down a cliff and then just sort of drive underwater, and the game just doesn't even care. I might be thinking of Carmageddon 64, actually. Apparently in Carmageddon 64, there's just streets and streets of nothing if you go off the path.
Well, because I was just thinking, like, Cruisin' USA, my experience with Cruisin' USA was at, like, Chuck E. Cheese, where all that I remember is, like, the controls were horrible because it was, an arcade racing game at, like, a children's, like, arcade. And that, like, you could flip over your car if you, like, ran into stuff. Your car would, like, flip and roll down the road, and you'd hop out and you'd run after it, and then you'd just hop in and drive off. That was all that I remember.
That sounds amazing. I know that in the Wii one and in some of the arcade ones, you can actually flip yourself off of cars and then fly through the air and land on other cars and sort of like jump through buildings and stuff. It looks amazing.
Okay.
But trying to track it down is really difficult. Back to eBay.
I just noticed, like, I went back to the screenshots window, and he's looking at, I guess, a boat that says ReBoot.
10 out of 10. A star out of 5. Amazing.
But,
I don't know what's happening anymore.
but no, like, controls were so weird in, like, PlayStation games and stuff because they didn't really know how to deal with the 3D, and you had so many of these games where, like, I'm just thinking about, like, was it Devil May Cry, the original one, where you have, like, a static camera, but it can, like, tilt around or whatever, and, like, trying to aim at enemies with this weird... I can't remember, because, like, some games, it would be based on if you pressed forward, you walked forward, no matter which way you were facing. So that could be that you would end up, like, walking towards the camera instead of walking up.
Yeah, the original Devil May Cry, I think, the camera was a lot of the problem with that game. Because it was built originally to be a Resident Evil game, it was built with those predetermined camera angles in mind.
Yeah.
And the problem is, when you try to use those sorts of controls for an action game, where you're running around jumping and shooting, it doesn't work. It just doesn't work for that kind of game. I think, personally, there's a lot of things the original Devil May Cry does wrong. One of them is they couldn't get a decent voice actor. Like, I know people love the game, and me picking on it now, I'm going to get a lot of hate mail, but whatever, bite me. The thing is, there's this cutscene where he's all crying and stuff, and I don't want to spoil it for people,
I think I know the one.
He yells, "I should have been the one to fill your dark soul with light!"
Yes.
And the camera pans up, and it's just like, this is the most embarrassing thing I've ever played.
Yeah.
And I've played Phoenix Drive.
Well, I mean, what was it like? You almost became a Jill sandwich. Or like...
actually, Capcom are completely responsible for every single piece of bad video game dialogue, excluding House of the Dead 2.
Stop. Don't open that door.
But Chris is... Get away, Jill. He's insane. I love that one.
What was the one about, like, you can use your lockpicking skills, master of lockpicking? Or whatever.
Master of unlocking.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, like...
Yeah.
It's so hot.
Video games.
I think I may need a fan. Or maybe it's just because I'm a male. Wait, fan? Male? Fan mail!
Oh, it's true.
I believe that was an incredibly broken tangent, and...
Great
That's
job,
good.
master of segues.
Master of segues.
That was a good
Oh, where have I heard that?
Maybe it's the tears of all our viewers.
Oh, great.
I'm
We're back to that.
Set off again.
So yes, podcast email. Noti, this is not spam. Yeah, like...
Maybe this is meant to be like how you'd write, when characters in Twin Peaks are speaking backwards.
Yeah.
Maybe this is how it's written.
That looks like something Capcom would say.
It's not spam.
Yes, I listened to the October 5th podcast. No Lynch speaking, by the way. Salutations to you, the members of the GameCola staff. How are you today? I contact your...
Fine, thank you. Oh, we're not supposed to answer that.
We're here.
I contact your group because you are the best of the best. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is thus. Go down to the GameCola HQ detainment cell and ask Captive Franzen for information on the Zero Eye. Go to where he specifies and pick up the contraband you'll find in the green bag. Throw it in the blue garbage bin on the corner of Riley Street and Are You Serious Boulevard. Blue garbage bin. That's vital. Then return and continue the podcast as if nothing ever happened. Your cooperation...
Okay, can I
Is
have,
he being serious about this?
I think so.
Man, it's such a bad idea.
What is it we're supposed to ask Paul about?
The Zero Eye.
Okay, I'm going to tweet him.
Okay. Okay, so I actually, this is a callback to a very old podcast, but I had no idea what you were talking about, Jeddy, when you talked about Oculus Rift for like 6 hours in a row.
Okay.
That happens sometimes when Jeddy talks. I'm like, oh, what is this?
Yes. When did I talk about Oculus Rift? When was this? It was a while ago.
Yeah.
5 minutes from now.
I get the feeling I might have been on a podcast where we talked about Oculus Rift. I think, but I'm not entirely sure.
Wow, that looks heavy. So it's like something you strap on your eyes to make your eyes just disappear.
It's the modern Virtual Boy.
Yeah, it's the full color Virtual Boy.
See, I wasn't around for the Virtual Boy, so this was March 2014, so that's when you guys were talking about it.
Was it? Because I thought that it made it into the,
On March, Facebook announced that it was going to buy Oculus RV $400 million in cash. Yeah. So maybe that's when you were talking about it.
Maybe.
It's like they
Let's just click for the tag Oculus
lots
Rift and see what comes up. One result for tag Oculus Rift on GameCola. Oh wow, we got a Halloween logo. Proves how often I log in.
Why are people still like surprised about this? By the time that this goes out,
I noticed it like the very first day it went up.
Yeah, like by the time that this goes up, the podcast listeners will go to the site and it won't be there because we'll have like switched to
Oh my gosh, she was being serious. There's a game called Halloween logo.
Yes. Now I'm gonna have to.
We did.
Really.
We wrote about Oculus Rift. Well, you did, Alex, on the 2013 GameCola Video Game Awards.
Yes,
it won Best New Peripheral and Accessory. Previous winners being a gamepad, retractable stylus, a cardboard box.
What was it, the Wii Basketball Beat or whatever, Baller Beats? The basketball? Did it win?
Unfortunately, no, that never won anything. Such a shame.
What about the canoe?
I think that might have been the year where the cardboard box beat it.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure.
Because I was going to say, wasn't there a year... I mean, I don't think it won, but I remember Paul talking about the canoe or the kayak or something.
There's not enough kayaks in video games, is there? Let's be honest. No, you don't get, like, Sean Palmer's pro kayaking, do you? It just doesn't exist.
That's actually what happened in Nancy Drew number 30 when she gets into a kayak. There's a kayaking challenge. She's like, oh, it's been way too long since I've been in a kayak.
Really? You're not just playing with me. You're not pulling my leg.
I'm not pulling her leg. She actually makes a comment about how she hasn't kayaked very recently, and it's a real shame.
Oh, wow.
Okay, at DisneyQuest, like, are any of you familiar with what that is?
I'm looking up what Harvest Moon games are coming out this year. What's Disney?
I'm shopping for games on Amazon.
Focus, it's the podcast.
It's a theme park in Florida.
Yeah, okay. DisneyQuest is like just outside. It's a downtown Disney, which is like a free area of the Disney, like, whatever. But like you have to...
Jeddy, I can't focus. I'm too busy checking out Game Pepsi.
So, Jeddy, I actually went to the one in Chicago, which closed in 2001. Okay. It was very bad, which is probably why it closed.
Okay, here's the thing. DisneyQuest, like, I'm sorry, but DisneyQuest has been open, like you said, since, like, the early 2000s. It was mediocre back then, and it is exactly all the same games now.
Really?
Wait. Disney Quest.
Yeah, it's basically a Disney arcade.
But there was a series of games called Disney The Magical Quest.
No, this is
released on the Super Nintendo and Game Boy Advance.
No,
are they ripping them off?
Is Disney ripping itself off?
Yeah, is Disney ripping itself off? That's what I want to know.
Can they sue themselves?
I think they can.
Actually, didn't Fox try to sue themselves when The Simpsons made fun of Fox News?
Yeah, it was either Simpsons or Family Guy, and they got really annoyed at one of them. That's like, I don't know, trying to use a Wii Zapper to shoot a duck. It's just stupid.
A dog's gonna laugh at you.
If you couldn't tell, I played way too much Smash Brothers.
But okay, so DisneyQuest, like I never really liked DisneyQuest. Like there's a big wall of like racing games, and then there was like some fighting games, and then like I don't know, it just wasn't very good in my opinion. But there was...
The entire list is here on Wikipedia, actually. Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, Asteroids, Tron, Burger Time, Zaxxon, Pango, Kangaroo, Berserk, Donkey Kong in all its iterations.
Kangaroo Berserk. Are those two separate games, or is that one game?
Those are two separate games, I believe.
Oh, right. Like, you've just
Star Wars, The Empire Strikes
Back.
Ever. What?
Well, okay.
Is that like the 3D one that had like the Darth Vader battle? Because that one was amazing. You could run around with a lightsaber.
The arcade game, the 1985 arcade game.
No, it wouldn't be that then.
Oh,
what I'm thinking
wow,
of was
those are
probably
horrible
90s.
graphics. Why do they still have this at Disney?
But here, okay, there were a few things that actually were kind of neat. Is when instead of just having arcade games, they had like ride games, and I want to point out Virtual Jungle Cruise, paddle an inflatable raft with real paddles as you make your way down a prehistoric river, avoiding dinosaurs and occasionally getting sprayed with water.
I am in love. Where is this place?
Orlando.
That was not in the Chicago one. In the Chicago one, they actually, on that floor, they had like an animation station where they basically taught you how to draw Goofy and Mickey and other Disney characters. And you could have your picture taken like one of those, what do you call the Japanese photo booths where you could like put stickers on them, except the stickers were all basically Disney characters. I feel cheated. I want Virtual Jungle Cruise instead. Well, this is the Michael from what? Pre-2001? So Michael from 17 years ago is upset now.
If it's any consolation, I don't have anything cool over here in England. They just shut down my favourite arcade last year.
Yeah?
Yeah. So now I have nothing.
It's okay. You could like, I don't know, go to the Tower of London and pretend you're in that Professor Layton game.
Yeah, you could. Totally could. Probably.
Even though the game starts with a disclaimer saying that it's completely fictional, not based on real locations.
Well, they do that every game. Get used to it.
Well,
Which is so weird.
I was asking Anna earlier. She was like, "I'm getting into an elevator," and I was like, "Is it an elevator that takes you back in time?"
Oh, I didn't see that. No, it did not.
I just got blown up by a creeper. I hate this game.
Wasn't that
Is that a reference to something?
Yeah.
Time traveling elevator?
Didn't you say that was the plot of one of the Professor Layton games?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You don't know it's an elevator. That's the plot twist.
Oh, okay.
It's like that Roald
Actually,
Dahl
here it
book.
says, time travel elevator at the London Transport Museum. There's a video of this on YouTube.
What?
It appears to be a video of somebody using the elevator. I wonder if they're going to travel in time. Why am I watching this? I have no life.
Sorry. A time machine exists. Is that what you're saying?
Apparently in London, according to this video.
Oh, I am so going back in time. There is so much I need to change. You have absolutely no idea.
They're going ahead in time, though, for whatever reason.
Oh, screw
It goes
that.
ahead in time 1 second per second.
Well, they're going from the 1800s to the 2000s.
Oh, so it doesn't really travel through time. Just the people, go out back, change their uniform, and come out. Ooh, it's the 2000s now.
Way to go, London Transport Museum.
Wait, hold on.
You're trying to fool us all. Why are there multiple videos of this elevator/lift at the London Transport Museum? Is this particular elevator so awesome?
There was a Model T going around campus today. It's pretty cool.
I should not buy.
What?
I'm buying myself birthday presents.
It's okay, Diana. You've got other things to do, like look up fan fiction.
Hey. Maybe.
Well, we could talk about our game, I guess.
We could talk about our game.
Somebody says there's a factual error in chapter number 4.
Oh, man, I proofread for those. What did I miss?
It says, where it's written that women can't inherit property. I don't think that's technically correct. The Bennets couldn't inherit because the property was entailed to pass on to the male line. Entail is a specific part of succession law.
Okay, women could not inherit property in the 1800s. That was definitely a thing.
We're right, okay, and this person is wrong about the factual error?
I'm pretty sure I wrote a paper on that.
Well, what did they even say? Because it sounded like they, like...
They're right about the entailing. Entailing, that's the definition of entailing. But they're not right in saying that women could potentially own property. I'm pretty sure that women could not own property in the 1800s.
1813, the specific year that Pride and Prejudice was written.
Yeah, I know. I wrote that in there. But I think I'm probably going to sound really stupid if somehow I'm wrong, but I'm fairly certain that that is the case. But I don't know what we put for about entailing, so that might be what they're talking about.
I don't think I actually used the word entail, because I didn't really know what it meant, so...
Entailing is what that person said it is. Like
I have Mary give a lecture on it, and then you just pretend that... Wait, I can actually find this.
Yeah.
Wow, I used the word pretend 7 times in this story. I used the word pretend too much. So the options are pretend you didn't stop listening after the first sentence, or question Mary's sanity when she gives you a lecture.
Mm-hmm.
Oh dear. Speaking of boring things, if you want something boring to do, Diana, you might have noticed our game got rid of all the formatting, all the italics and bolds disappeared. And so I have to manually program them in. So if somebody wants to go through the script and go through every single instance. Also, somebody mentioned stats for our game. A little bit of background. We're doing a Pride and Prejudice text-based adventure game.
All right.
Did you see that someone talked about both Matches of Matrimony and Regency Love in one of the comments?
Yes, somebody mentioned both of the games, which are better than ours, which do the same basic thing.
They're so much better than us, but they were great games.
Just because they have actual pictures in their game, and ours is just text.
Now I really want to play Regency Love again.
I'm going to make like a really good, what do you call it, a text picture, and I'm sure our game will blow theirs out of the water.
Okay, I'll just fix the italics.
All this talk about game development, and I'm just sitting here like, minding my own business. Maybe I should make a game.
I'm playing some Smash Brothers. It's
rad.
It's my game of the year.
Yeah, it's
so
great.
good.
I love it.
Hey, you can't say that. That's a mainstream game.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. No, that's fine.
My strategy is just to
I'll
pretend
just go through
again.
my list of non-mainstream games now that came out this year and pick one of those. And then see if you've got a response for that.
Well, gosh, you don't have to be so mean about it.
You've hurt my feelings.
Well, it sounds like your feelings really got smashed.
Well, see,
This guy.
how about instead of talking about Super Smash Bros, we just talk about like regular Smash Bros.
Regular Smash Bros?
Yeah.
There is no such thing.
What on earth does that even mean, Jeddy?
What?
Quit pretending that you know what you're doing.
When have I ever known what I was doing?
Aww.
Okay, so. Oh, you're back already? That was quick. Okay, no more fooling around.
Wait, this is the email again? I wasn't listening.
We're back to the
Oh, are we
email.
still talking about
Got it, okay.
Fanmail?
Did we even answer the question? What was the question?
I didn't get
How
to the...
were we? Are we feeling good? Yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Is that a reference?
Is that the question?
It was...
No, it was the thing that we were supposed to do that we didn't actually.
Oh, right.
Well,
Yeah,
but Paul never...
I tweeted Paul, but he hasn't got back to me yet.
Yeah.
Paul is wasting our time.
Yeah. Did you know that Donkey Kong Country is over 20 years old?
Nope.
I am old. I am so old.
It is weird to think about stuff like that.
Time Crisis is 20 years old.
What? I mean...
Mortal Kombat 3, 20 years old.
Yeah, like, just thinking that, like...
Chrono Trigger, 20 years old.
Like, yeah, exactly. I was gonna say Chrono Trigger. 'Cause it's, like, thinking that like a video game that I was old enough to like enjoy is old enough to vote or whatever. Like,
I need to stop buying things. I'm pre-ordering.
never buy another thing ever again.
Yeah, basically, I'm pre-ordering Pokemon. Finally, I'm getting around to it because I want to. And I'm
I've
buying
never
Fantasy
played
Life.
Ooh, Fantasy Life.
Yeah, I've heard it's good, but I've heard it's really addicting. So I'm probably gonna die or something. But
What?
and then
Okay,
I'm buying, since I didn't get first place in the OC contest for Court Records. I'm buying myself the art book as consolation.
OC, original character.
Yes.
Or onion cravat.
I was. What?
Orange crepe.
There you go. That makes more sense. No, original character.
Ordinary cashew nut.
That would be OCN. Saying.
Oh, I have been bettered. I myself have been hoisted by the petard of which I set off. Isn't that the saying?
Yeah. Sure.
But you didn't win, so you bought the prize yourself.
Yes, I did.
That's cool. That's one way of ensuring you win.
Yeah, I totally won, guys. Just saying. Let's see. Hopefully it will ship to my dorm. I'm gonna be really upset if it doesn't. I feel like maybe I should wait and buy it over Christmas so I can just ship it to my house.
I just saw something that Matt Jonas posted on Facebook.
All right, what's that?
It's on your Tumblr with that anime that's based solely off of Sega.
Yes. Oh, it's so much fun to watch. I'm going to be reviewing every single episode of it. It's so good. Episode 1 is terrible. Episode 2 is amazing because it's just the entire thing takes place in Virtua Fighter, and it starts with Virtua Fighter characters, but then they have a character from Altered Beast as an opponent. Then they have the guys with the big hammers from Golden Axe. They have a giant. They changed
color like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, it's such a good show. If you like the first episode being disappointing, the second one being brilliant, third one being disappointing.
What's so bad about the first episode?
They don't spend any time in a game. They
it's
just
the first episode.
Hello,
explaining what's going on.
Okay. Show starts, right? Welcome to the Seiha Gaga Academy or whatever, right? Character walks in through the door. Dreamcasto. She walks in through the door. She says, "I like eating ramen," and spends 2 minutes talking about her favorite type of ramen. That is the problem, okay? I came to watch a Sega show, not a ramen show.
Are you sure?
I am totally positive.
Maybe it's Sega branded ramen.
I would totally try Sega branded ramen.
Since it will already be over by the time the podcast airs, what are your thoughts on the representation of Halloween, not talking about horror here, in video games? Games about Halloween, games with weenie halls in them, etc. And how about holiday-centered games in general?
Well, may I begin? Halloween games date very, very quickly. Like, if it's just a game like, this is my spooky Halloween for iOS or something, right? You can only really play that Halloween time.
Yeah.
Like, any other time of the year, it's just weird to play a game with Halloween in the title.
Yeah.
But a game that is steeped in Halloween imagery can still be played any time of the year. Like, Costume Quest. You could really enjoy that game any time of the year.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to play it at Halloween just because it's set in Halloween. Or how about the most recent Castle of Illusion, the remake of Castle of Illusion? That's basically a Halloween game. All the levels are spooky, they've got ghosts in them, it's quite unnerving, you've got an evil witch who lives in a tower, but you can play that any time of the year. I think it's when it's got the name Halloween in it that sort of like you can't separate it from the Halloween period. It's like if you had a game called, I don't know, Santa Claus Saves the Earth, you know. Yeah. You can't really, come on people, it's what we played last year at Christmas.
I was going to say, it's not an actual thing.
You can't really play that any other time but Christmas. But if the game has like Santa Claus in it, then that's fine. Like James Pond 2, it's set at Christmas, it's snowing all the time. I can play that any time of year.
Yeah.
So I think it's just if it has the season's name in it.
I can't really think of any games other than like indie games that have any like Halloween imagery. Like, I mean, maybe if you count the parts of Kingdom Hearts where they go to Halloween Town, because don't they at some point?
Yes, I think I've seen artwork.
But like,
I was going to mention these Japanese dating sims, they usually have like themed events. So like this year they had a Halloween theme event where all of the hot guys dressed up in Halloween costumes. One was a pumpkin, one was a dashing gentleman thief.
There we go.
Which I think is a reference. One was a pirate. What were the others, Diana? Did you play it at all?
I didn't play it.
Oh. But anyway, they try to have like a themed event every month. So like they'll have a Christmas one, they'll have a Halloween one. And this month they're having the lawyer's birthday rather than a Thanksgiving themed thing.
Oh, I gotta get on this.
So it's called My Sweet Lover's Jealousy. So apparently lawyer guy is gonna get really jealous of you. And there's a female plotline where you get really jealous of him because I guess he's flirting with other women. I don't know, I haven't played it.
Hold on. Yeah. Sorry, I was just remembering when I played Final Fantasy XI that they had a Halloween event and you could get pumpkin hats. And I'm gonna see...
Does a GameCola podcast with Alex. Final Fantasy XI comes up as a topic. Every single time.
So?
I just notice it, it always happens. I'm not complaining.
I haven't played a Final Fantasy game since Final Fantasy VI, which was awful. And I'm sorry.
Fighting talk, man. You're going to upset a load of people. Not me. I mostly agree with you.
Okay, so the Halloween thing was called Sweet Candy House Special Story, and I apparently unlocked all of them because I have
for you.
I have no idea what you've sent me. What is
Jeddy?
Yeah, me neither.
What?
What?
It's Jeddy on a bird on a cliff.
Yeah.
And there's like a bridge at the bottom.
Yeah, and I'm looking at a stone
he might
eater.
Be contemplating suicide.
I don't know how I got up on this cliff or what's even happening.
And there's like a little chicken in the corner.
Yeah, well that's the icon to tell you that I'm riding the bird.
Oh, that's a weird place to put it.
Well, I don't know, it makes a little more sense when you're playing the game, I guess.
Oh, okay.
But I just like to okay, why am I it's not a screen.
Your target is a stone eater.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. There's
I have thoroughly analyzed this picture.
And that's the thing is that there's nothing here. I don't know why I took this picture.
This is just upsetting me. Do you want to know why?
Why?
Have a look at that rock face where the texture is all stretched.
Yeah.
That is absolutely disgusting. When textures stretch like that, it just makes me want to find the designer and say, "You've got to stretch texture." It's bad UV mapping. Just make a better UV map on your object.
Understand that this
it takes 5 seconds.
Understand that this was also in 2003. And is somebody sorting their coin collection?
No, I'm just pulling quarters out of a pile of change.
Okay. Oh, here we go. Okay.
I like it. I knew that the no was an immediate admission of guilt.
Hold on, I'm trying to find if
I am guilt-ridden. I'm pulling quarters out of a collection.
Hung, drawn, and quartered.
Oh, here we go. Okay. Let me see if I can find a picture. Because my friend is wearing a pumpkin hat, and there's ghosts and stuff in town, which I wish I could get them in the same shot, so that I could just send you one image. But you can get...
Photoshop.
Hold on.
Yay. Or if you're feeling like a particularly well-skilled ninja, MS Paint.
Oh, did you have a topic, Jeffro? Jeff?
Oh, well, I might be leaving soon anyway, so I figured I'd drop this. But in terms of Super Smash Bros. 4, they've recently confirmed that Mewtwo will be an available character as DLC if you get the Wii U and 3DS versions. What is everyone's opinion?
So basically, my opinion is that I will never be getting it. Because I don't own a Wii U.
Let me rephrase that. The opinions of people who are actually going to get the game.
Oh, what? Oh.
I created a list, a year ago, maybe longer. I'm going to get that list up, but basically Mewtwo was on that list. It was a list of 10 fighters I really wanted in Smash Brothers 4. And I'll just see if I can get that up on my channel videos.
Yeah.
I'm really liking
Because
Smash.
I'll do a quick little bit of adding up.
I'm really happy with the new characters overall in Smash, though.
Yeah, I wouldn't really change anything on the roster except, Dark Pit.
Yeah, maybe.
What next? Light Pit? Pink Pit? Passion Pit?
Passion Pit.
When's it gonna stop? When is the Kid Icarus love gonna stop? Like, we have
this game
every
is so
single enemy
heavily
from Kid Icarus Uprising in Smash Run.
And all of the abilities, it's so heavily Kid Icarus.
Yeah, it's like there are 3 Donkey Kong enemies in Smash Run. That's hardly fair. Like, Donkey Kong is seriously Nintendo's most underrated franchise.
Is it just me, or I'm really, really bad at Smash Run?
So the problem with Smash Run, right, is that you start Smash Run terrible. Like, every single character starts incredibly slow. You have to immediately try to find enemies you can take out to get stats.
Yeah,
because when you finish Smash Run and you've got those little grey lines on your stats, that's actually where your character's ordinary stats are.
Oh.
So if you end Smash Run and you've got less than those, you're actually worse off than you would be in a normal Smash
So basically,
battle.
like every time.
Yeah, you have to earn the stats to be able to be any good in Smash Run. It's terrible. Smash Run's terrible. I like it, but it's terrible.
I like the premise. I just wish it was a little easier to execute, because it's hard. I don't like it.
So this list of 10 characters I made, right? The characters, now including Mewtwo, who is coming, 4 of the characters out of 10 that I wanted are going to be in the game, counting Mewtwo. Sheik, Mewtwo, Sonic, and Meta Knight. Because there was always a chance that Sonic and Meta Knight might not return.
Mm-hmm.
With Sheik, we had only ever seen Zelda up to that point, so I was starting to get quite worried.
Yeah, but I actually like them separated a lot.
But then 2 characters that I wanted playable ended up as assist trophies. Waluigi and Ashley from WarioWare.
Mm-hmm.
One of them ended up only a trophy. That was Dixie Kong. And then 3 of them just aren't in the game at all. Klonoa the Dream Wanderer, because I thought there's got to be someone Namco in there, and it ended up being Pac-Man. Jin Kazama from Tekken, because I thought, there's got to be someone Namco in there, and it ended up being Pac-Man.
I was just looking.
And Travis Touchdown from No More Heroes, because he'd be perfect. Like, just take one of the sword animes out. Who even plays as Lucina? Just
But then there was Pac-Man.
Take one of them out, and then just put Travis Touchdown in there.
Hey,
okay,
I like
fine.
Lucina.
Take Dark Pit out and put
Okay, that's
Travis
fine.
Touchdown
That's
in there.
fine. I'm okay with that.
Did you guys look at the image?
Wait, I'm looking. Hold on.
I'm loading it up now. Every one of these links in Skype wants to open in Firefox. Oh yes, Stu's comic, Space Girl, and here's Doc. I love it.
I don't know. I mean, I like Lucina a lot. I like Robin a lot. Robin is like my new main.
Robin's definitely impressed me in the last couple of days when I've been actually trying to get good as her. The more I've been practicing with Robin, the better I've been getting. It felt weird at first to have moves that got weaker and eventually you couldn't use them anymore, but that sort of adds a dynamic to Robin that none of the other characters have, except maybe Shulk.
Oh, I love him too.
Because Shulk's a bit complicated as well.
Yeah,
the best thing about Shulk, right, is starting a match in his boxers and then just making him say, "I'm really feeling it."
Yeah.
That's the best thing about Shulk.
My customized Shulk is in his boxers. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, there's just no other way, is there?
There's no other way. His abs are just so well done that you have to show those to the world.
Are you feeling it now, Mr. Krabs?
Well,
I
hate to
I
intervene.
recently got a
I hate to intervene, but the whole Challenger approaching light is shining, so I guess I'm needed elsewhere.
Okay, bye.
Peace out, everyone. Thanks for having me here.
No problem, man. You take
Yes,
care.
have fun.
Bye.
Bye.
If I could ask, just you guys mentioned it on Smash Brothers, which I don't know about. Why is Sheik a popular character? Wasn't Sheik in like 3 cutscenes in Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, and that's the extent of that person's character?
It's the principal.
Yeah.
Sheik's been
The
in
principal
Melee,
of the school?
Sheik's been in Brawl. It's the principal Skinner of the situation. It's important that Sheik is in there. It's incredibly vital.
I don't want Principal Skinner in my Simpsons fighting game.
Wouldn't that be amazing? A Simpsons version of Super Smash Brothers.
Let's
I'm just
go.
thinking, right? You could have the Everyman costume with him fat for Homer, but you could have an Everyman costume for Radioactive Man when he's like all buff. It'd be brilliant. Best game ever. 10 out of 10. A star out of 5. Wonderful. I'd totally play that. Like a Simpsons Smash Brothers. Like, how many times have I seen Homer Simpson as a requested character for Smash Bros? It happened with Brawl. People going, "We want Homer Simpson in Smash Bros." It's like, what? Why would you want Homer Simpson in Smash Bros? You people confuse me.
Yeah, I agree. I don't get it.
What were we talking about?
I'm pretty
I
sure
don't
we're
know.
talking about Halloween games.
Oh yeah.
Yes. We
They're
were
Halloween games.
at one point.
But also, I kind of feel like there are a lot of things in like Western culture that when you're playing all of these Japanese games, you don't really get as much, you know?
Well, especially their horror-themed things, because a lot of it just goes over our heads. We look, oh, it's a broom with some eyeballs on it. But to them, that's some important horror image that's like been passed down for decades, and we just look at it and we go,
It would
broom with eyes.
yeah. Or like the umbrella with one eye or whatever, like
Yeah.
classic.
It's just like, this is so dumb. In Super Mario Land 2, I remember going, umbrella with an eyeball, but then like, is that a Goomba with a Jason Voorhees mask? That game was crazy. That reminds me,
I
there was a
think
whole Halloween-themed world in Super Mario Land 2. You went inside it was sort of like the pumpkin equivalent of a Polly Pop.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah. Like Super Mario Land 2, I never really think about. Like, but I did definitely play it. I remember, like, getting stuck in the honey or whatever.
Well, that was brilliant. Wood Zone was the first. Was it Wood Zone?
Oh yeah, it was Sap.
Tree Zone.
Sap.
Tree Zone was like the first zone that I played in that game. I got Super Mario Land 2 with Super Mario Land and a Game Boy in a carry case for Christmas one year when I was a kid. And all I did, like Christmas Eve, not Christmas Eve, Christmas Day night. Christmas night.
Okay.
Yonder Christmas night. What I did was I just played Super Mario Land 2 until I had choked out the batteries on my Game Boy.
Yeah.
I love that game to bits. It's so good.
No, I remember, like, it's such a weird installment, because, like, you get the bunny ears. Like, have they ever been revisited ever?
I want to say no, because the bunny ears in Smash Brothers are the Zelda ones.
And, like, what was it? Like, there were ants, I think?
Yeah.
Like, it was...
Rabbit Mario. What can you tell me, Super Mario Wiki?
Because, also... Oh, what was it? I mean, it did introduce Wario, didn't it?
Yes, that was the game that introduced
But
Wario.
that's, like, the only surviving bit from that game.
Yeah, pretty much everything else from Super Mario Land 2 has been ignored now. Which, makes sense. Because, like, while it's a brilliant game, and I love it, it's so weird. And so is Super Mario Land, to some extent, as well. I mean, Sarasa Land? Like, it's not even the Mushroom Kingdom.
Oh, yeah.
You're Princess Daisy instead of Peach.
Yeah.
And the main villain isn't Bowser. It's the mysterious spaceman Tatanka.
Oh, yeah, the weird thing.
Which, to quote my review on GameCola, so mysterious, they decided they wouldn't even give him a backstory. Burn. Seriously, I think that game's not as good as people make it out. I got so much heat after that review. I got so much, like, how dare you say such nasty things about Super Mario Land? It's a sacred cow. But it's bad.
That's basically the reaction I get.
This will be brilliant. Yeah, comment number 1. Wrong.
No, I was gonna say that's basically the reaction I get when anybody asks me about Smash Brothers, because I'm like, don't you just press buttons over and over and over again? button smashing and then hope something happens?
Wrong.
Because I don't understand how that game works.
It's confusing. It basically works on a momentum system. Like, every time you damage a person, you knock them further. And basically the goal is to knock them off screen. That's basically how Smash Brothers works.
Do you mean smash them off screen?
Yes! Now you're playing with power. Pumpkin spice latte power.
Wait. I thought if you knock somebody off the left side of the screen, they just pop in on the right side of the screen.
Only on the balloon fight level.
Is there a balloon
Wait,
fight?
there's a level where people fight with balloons?
No, but it's set in balloon fights, so you can go off the left and right sides of the screen. It's pretty cool.
Balloon fight.
I think we have a balloon fight review on GameCola.
Oh, this is a video game from before I was born. Well, that's nice.
Searching GameCola.net for balloon fight. Yeah, okay, there's a review from 2002. I was gonna say, I knew it was an early one.
Because you would have to have ported it over from the old site
Yeah.
to the new one.
Oh, hold on. From staff writer Neil Iannone, or Iannone, I don't know how to pronounce his name. From Neil.
Minestrone?
Neil, from Neil is better than you.
Isn't it awesomer?
Oh, is it awesomer? Probably. Neil is awesomer than you? Hold on. Time to search.
Neil Iannone is how I
Lofi
pronounce
Carl. Oh, Neil is awesomer than you. Yeah, and also Lofi Carl. It all starts quite blandly, and to top that, quite abruptly as well. Like, how does that start a review? I am talking, of course, about the most underrated and misunderstood game ever, Balloon Fight. It is curious, see, and that's the thing. Like, people talk about Balloon Fight and, like, Ice Climbers as if they ever actually played the games, or Spelunky. Like, people now... You
mean Spelunker, right? Spelunky was an indie game.
Spelunker.
Spelunker was a 2D really bad game.
But, like, I find it interesting that, like, again, GameCola, from its very first year of being around, was gaming outside the mainstream.
I think maybe that's why I'm not into Smash Brothers. It's too mainstream, so I don't know who any of the characters are or why they matter. I know Mario.
Who is Shulk and why is he feeling it?
What is a Shulk?
Oh, wait.
Shulk is
I thought you guys were talking about She-Hulk, and I'm like, what?
No, Shulk is from Xenoblade.
What's Xenoblade?
It's a game. Go look it up. It's a game. It's on the Wii. It was released near the end of the Wii's lifespan, so it's.
Oh wait, was that the game, like the only RPG on the Wii?
No.
And people wanted it ported because there were like 2 RPGs on the Wii, and one of them was the Fire Emblem game that nobody likes.
Well, all of them.
What?
I like the story of the game. I just didn't like the actual game itself. And the final battle of the game was really bad because by that point in the game, all your characters were leveled up, so they were way stronger than the boss. So it wasn't even a challenge at the end of the game. If I wrote a review, I would say the ending wasn't a challenge because they just hand you over leveled characters at the end.
Sounds a bit like Tales of Vesperia. I mean, I barely had to work to get through that game. That's kind of disappointing as a whole.
I'm replaying Fire Emblem Awakening right now. Like, I just started over from the beginning again. And this time, it's going so much faster.
Hold on.
Like,
sorry, would you say that you found/started this game recently and that you're really enjoying it?
No. I'm replaying it for the second time. I finished it recently.
Okay.
Does that count?
I don't know, because I'm just trying to move on to the second question.
Oh, is this Nolan's question?
Yes, and I was just trying to see if I could sneak this in here under what you're already talking about.
I mean, I was playing, I played it and I got stuck on like chapter 19 or something and I could never get past it. So I stopped playing it. And while I was home for fall break this past weekend, I was talking to one of my friends about it. And I was like, you know what, I'm just going to go home and pick it up again. So I did that and I passed the level and then I breezed through the rest of the game, no problem. And it was, I loved the ending. It was great. I played for probably like 4 hours straight to get to the end. And so I decided to play it again because I wanted to. And I'm going so fast through it now. Like, it's not even a challenge anymore. I already have 2 characters at like max level and I'm only on chapter like 11. out of 20-something.
Yeah.
This is way too easy now.
So you said it wasn't much of a challenge, right?
Not the second time, not this time through. The first time it was.
Just like
you
this
change
tenuous segue that the fan mail questions are not challenging to answer.
Diana,
get
doesn't
back
the
on
game
track.
have the...
What?
Yeah, we'll go to the transition. I was going to say, Diana, doesn't the game have difficulty settings?
Maybe.
Switch it off of Paul Franzen mode.
I'm not on Paul Franzen mode. I don't think that's... No, I'm not on Paul Franzen mode. I decided to do, like, whatever the next level is. I don't even remember what it's called.
I know that the killer level requires just tons of grinding.
Okay, yeah, I'm not doing that one.
I'm okay with, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not doing that
I was really into Fire Emblem whenever the GameCube game came out, so I played the second one for the NES, which was never released in America, and the GameCube one, I played those both about 4 times, and then I really haven't played Fire Emblem since.
I would recommend Awakening. I think it's pretty good.
Oh, I also played the DS game, Shadow Dragon, which everybody hated, but I liked it.
You should get Awakening. I think it's good. I liked it.
Do you know anything about the Game Boy Fire Emblem games? Because I've got them in their boxes. They're still wrapped in plastic.
No, this was my first Fire Emblem game. So
Oh, okay. Okay, fine.
I definitely want to get more now, but I just need the systems for it. I have to go find the DS ones, I guess. All right, do we have another
It's awful.
question?
Nobody likes it.
I was going to
Or-
say, did anybody else found or start a game that they're really enjoying recently?
I also started Hatful Boyfriend, but I don't know if that counts.
Ooh.
I've been playing Diner Dash a lot lately.
Any other questions, Jeddy?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, next question.
I didn't get to answer. It's fine. I was only going to say Fallout New Vegas. But do continue. Just ignore me.
Okay.
I was going
Don't
to say
ignore
Nancy
me.
Drew Labyrinth of Lies. Let's just skip it.
I don't think I've
Okay.
played... I'm trying to think if I've played a game. I did start for a bit Front Mission, the original one. But,
Is that on the Super Famicom?
yeah. And it's interesting because I've actually never played... I downloaded both the original Japanese and the fan translation, and I never actually played the fan translation. So it's interesting to go back and play it and actually know what they're saying for certain.
Understand what's going on.
Yeah, because I had a general concept, vaguely understand. Oh well, these 2 or 3 kanji I understand, or this one word, or whatever. But enough to be able to go to the right town, but not much else.
I know the kanji for save and load.
Are there kanji for save and load? Or is it just
Well, the words.
Seibu, Dodo?
Yeah.
Okay, so question number 3. Pizzerian really picked up a bit more popularity with the Pumpkin Spice Autumn 100% off sale, didn't it? Thank you, China.
Isn't he just saying that because he came up with
He did, in fact, inspire me. No Lynch, thank you for the inspiration for the Pumpkin Spice.
Wait. We're still on No Lynch's question.
Yes, this is No Lynch's question.
It's gonna be a long evening.
Yes. And then also, okay, this is something that I talked about a bit in the article that I've been writing. I got a bit of promotion from Desra, randomly, out of nowhere. And so then I tried, pumping that. And I was kind of getting, a little bit of, notice. And so I was like, whatever, I'm just going to put it on, 100% off sale, and I'm going to go to sleep. And the next morning I wake up, and I got, 500 downloads. And when I looked at the demographic, it was, 60% of the downloads were from China.
Nice.
Yeah, and I was like, what happened last night that Chinese people love me suddenly? And, it was great because, almost all of them were voting for me on Steam Greenlight, and, they kept messaging me on Twitter and, commenting on my Steam Greenlight. They were like, don't cry. I was like, I don't know if this is insulting or if they're supposed to be, supportive. I'm going to assume they're trying to be supportive. Somebody tweeted at me. They said, it's your destiny, but don't cry. I was like, I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but thank you.
That's very nice of them.
Yes, but yes, thank you once again, No Lynch, for the inspiration for the pumpkin spice theme, color scheme on Pizzerian. So then number 4,
Oh my god.
for those on the podcast who write a column for GameCola, what inspired you to start writing it? And actually, Michael Gray is off right now. Otherwise, he'd get to talk about the 10 Reasons and Inside the Guide and all the other things.
I've never really made my own column. I've just sort of like sat in other people's for a while.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if you want to count breaking as a column, then what doesn't inspire me to write breaking? I don't know. Whenever there's news, I decide to article.
I suppose it's whenever I see a really stupid news article, I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna make fun of that. That's whenever I write those false news reports, which I love. It's the only thing that's got me back into writing recently, is the fact that I'm so rude in those. It's brilliant.
For me, what was it? Because I was doing for a while memory cards, and I feel like the inspiration for that is pretty obvious, is that like I had all these like video game related memories that I wanted to like share with the world. There's also real virtuality. Does anyone...
That sounds contradictory.
It was my... I had a comic for a while, like a comic that I drew, except that I'm bad at art. And like, I did it, and this was back in the like monthly edition GameCola. So it was like a once a month, you get a comic from me. And so like, it was very slow going. And after like 6 months, I finally was like, I'm just going to kill the main character. Who, by the way, was me.
But then you woke up and it was all a dream?
It was, and that I was also a brain in a jar.
I remember not understanding the ending.
Yes.
There's probably a reason for that. That sounds very confusing.
There were a lot more cat ears in that comic than are on GameCola now.
That's true.
Is there a reason for that?
I don't know, like, the cat ear thing was a way to distinguish myself on an older webcomic, which I think I've shown to everybody before.
Yeah, we talked about this last time.
That's right.
Yeah, of course, I totally know what you're talking about. Don't.
Yeah, I listened to that podcast for more than 3 minutes because you talked about things other than games I haven't played.
Listen to a podcast I wasn't on. Preposterous. Why would I do that?
But
you're all talking about, like, what's that game? The End Day game. Crystalis, actually. Sorry, I forgot.
But, no, what was I talking about? Oh, yeah, it was a way for me to distinguish myself when I was, like, drawing the comics in order for people to be able to recognize which one was me. And then, like, it just kind of carried over for a while. But I haven't needed to distinguish myself recently. So it hasn't been, like, a primary point of mine as of late. So Michael Gray,
yeah, I'm back.
Oh, sorry, you missed the question, which was for those on the podcast who write a column for GameCola, what inspired you to start writing?
I got the email from, actually, it was from Paul back in the day when GameCola was a monthly website, saying we need new writers. Please write something for us. And so I decided, I do walkthroughs for GameCola. I mean, for Game FAQs, yeah. I'll write a column about that. And Paul's like, I guess we'll accept that. And that's how I got inspired.
I think that was kind of my inspiration for Real Virtuality as well, which is that, like, I think we had a comic and then it ended, and Paul was like, we don't have any comics. Does anyone want to start a comic? I was like, I'll try.
And that was that story.
Which of you would win in a battle to the death?
Not me.
Depends on what kind of battle it is.
To the death.
If it's in Smash Bros, I lose.
If it's, like, involves running, then no. Like, I wouldn't win.
What kind of...
But...
Well, it's a battle to the death, so...
If it involves, like, being smart, then maybe I'd win.
I'm not sure how...
Depends on my...
No, wait. I'll challenge you to the Fire Emblem, like, battle to the death. That way I will win.
Wait.
Right now I'm holding in my hands a giant rubber band ball, and believe you me, if I threw this at you, it would hurt.
Oh, no. We're all gonna lose.
I surrender.
Yeah, I feel like surrendering might be the best option here.
I was inspired by that violent video game, Bully.
Great.
Well, Bully for you.
Oh, that was terrible.
So was the game. What? No.
What?
I played it for 9 minutes. It wasn't that bad.
What else does No Lynch have for us?
Thank you for reading again. It's always a pleasure to listen to the podcasts, even when they don't include my email meddling. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of the day whenever you are recording. Friend of the cola, if I may be so bold, No Lynch.
Aww.
Yes.
He's so nice.
Someone's being bold.
Does anybody want to discuss a topic? You said bring a topic. I brought a topic.
Did you?
Well, it was a Halloween-themed podcast.
Well,
right?
okay, but the thing is, it's going to be posted after Halloween, so will people still care?
Oh.
Is there a video game that takes place 3 days after Halloween? Because I feel like that would be really timely.
I mean, if there's a video game that takes place on Dia de los Muertos, then yeah.
Well, there's probably some sort of video game tie-in to the movie that's coming out.
Yeah, I was gonna say wait till after that, and then there'll probably be a video game.
I made a joke about that while playing Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, and nobody knew what I was talking about because I was talking in Spanish.
I knew what you were talking about, if that matters.
Okay.
I actually remember watching that because I thought it was weird that you were talking in Spanish. No offense.
I said very short sentences.
Yeah.
There's a reason.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just looking at the discussion topics on GameCola's Facebook page. Yeah, the Atari 5200 or the ColecoVision.
No comment.
Favorite video game soundtrack.
Too many. I think I've listed a good amount of them on that post.
I like the soundtrack to my text-based adventure game.
Is it something like?
Does it even have a soundtrack?
That was the joke.
Matt Jonas voted for Nier.
Yeah.
I realized I forgot Professor Layton vs. Ace Attorney. That's an amazing soundtrack.
That soundtrack is wonderful.
And put that on my list.
Mascot that you hated the most.
I don't think I've played any of those games you mentioned with mascots in them.
I mean,
Yeah,
were
same.
they JRPGs I've never heard of?
I didn't mention, I only mentioned one.
What was it?
Xenogears, which I gave a link to a video of. You're allowed to come up with your own game.
What?
You're allowed to, say a game that had a mascot in it that you didn't like. If you hated, what was his name? The little blue thing from Phoenix Wright.
Blue Badger?
Yeah.
He wasn't even a badger.
I guess that counts as a mascot? It's not Capcom's mascot.
It's not the mascot of the game.
True.
I mean, I guess it could be, but it's the mascot of the police department of the game.
But, I don't know, you guys are allowed to come up with, games that have mascot characters and then say whether you dislike them.
I don't know, I was trying to think. I couldn't think
I
of
don't
it.
feel like cooperating because I had a discussion topic.
What was your discussion
But you
topic?
don't want to
What is it?
talk about it. Well, you see, because it's that spooky time of year, I was going to say,
Yes.
is there anything in, a video game designed for, kids or younger audiences that absolutely frightens you?
Okay, actually,
Because it's a very good question.
okay, here's the thing. I am going to tell you a tale, is that when I was 4 or 5 maybe, my parents got me one of those Sesame Street Nintendo games. And I don't know why, but I hated it. It just something about the game upset me on a very to my core. I was upset by this game. I don't know what it was about the game, just something about it. The way that the letters swooped in and swirled around, and I think there was a scene where there was it was nighttime and there was a Ferris wheel, and it just to me was unsettling at the age of 4.
Ooh, I think I know the game you're talking about,
It's Big
actually.
Bird's thing, wasn't it?
Well,
I
if I remember right, I looked it up one time, and there's 2 NES games with Sesame Street, and it was the second one.
It's not Big Bird's Hide and Speak, so it must be the other one.
It's the Grover one, isn't it? Was it?
Okay.
Was Grover?
Okay, hold on here. I just searched for Sesame Street NES, and I come up with this screenshot, and I'm like, yes, this is what terrified me. That there were letters, there's a Ferris wheel, it's nighttime. Sesame Street 1, 2, 3. With Astro Grover.
That's the one, Astro Grover.
And something
Yeah.
about it just, I did not like it at all.
No, I see what you mean. There's a face in the moon and everything. So unnerving.
I think I have one.
Okay.
I don't remember. Okay, there were the Harry Potter PC games.
Yes.
The second one has the spiders in it.
Mhm.
I'm deathly afraid of spiders, but I really, really wanted to beat the game. So it was me and my 3 sisters, and we were all sitting in the office on the computer, and I'm like firing spells at the giant spider with my eyes closed, screaming my head off. Like and all of us were yelling, and they would tell me like, "Oh, your aim's off. Move to the right," because I had my eyes closed and I couldn't see. And my mom
making my skin crawl with this.
Yeah, I was probably about 8 or 9. And my mom comes in, she's like, "Your father's taking a nap. What are you doing in here?" And she was really mad at us. So that scared me more than the spiders. So I never played that game. I never played the spiders part again after that. I had my cousin beat it for me. Those spiders were really creepy looking for that.
They were.
Like how old those graphics were. Like not even the super big one, like the little one, like the regular size ones that would just like pop out as regular enemies. I was so scared of those. Like it was unreasonable how scared I was of those spiders. Okay, that's mine. I'm done.
When I was like 6 or 7, my mom was playing the first Harry Potter game on the computer, and I hated Peeves because I was 6. I hadn't read any of the books yet. So I didn't know who he was. And I was freaking out so much. And my mom's like, "You can't play these games until you're 7. And I'm just like, "No, I want to play them now." But then I would get creeped out, and then I would stop right away.
Except spiders.
Poor Peeves. Never making it in the movies.
I know, right?
I had to think really hard about this, but I remember I never liked getting a game over in Banjo-Kazooie. Because you had this sequence where poor Tootie was just standing there shaking, and then she gets transformed into this.
The evil fat thing, and then Gruntilda becomes the scary sexy witch.
Yeah,
that actually scared me a little more than the evil fat thing.
That zombie Tootie still freaks me out. I'm staring at it right now.
So whenever I got a game over, I would hit like the reset button or something like that instead, just to avoid seeing that. Well, I think it's because it was like a minute-long scene. That was why I didn't want to see it.
But incredibly unnerving. Like, in that situation, it's your fault that happened. And it was the overwhelming sensation of guilt watching that sequence.
Oh, is that why she's not in the second game? You killed her in the first one.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do we have anything else to talk about while we're all here?
I'm going back to the discussion topics, and I have my favorite one that I'm sad only got a reach of 173. Is "You are the weakest link. Goodbye. Which Zelda game is the worst?" Get it?
Skyward Sword.
Get it?
I get it.
I don't get it.
Skyward Sword.
The game's about Zelda, right?
See, but it's "You are the weakest link." Get it? Link.
Wait. No. I think I get it. Like, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Like...
Yeah. That was a pretty good TV show.
That's an amazing reference. And, like, people need to know more about, Regis, Phil Bean, and Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. He did an amazing job on that show. I'm so glad you made a reference to it with that.
I think if they did like a week where he came back to the show, that would be like, it would break like TV records.
Is it still going over there for you then?
It's still going, but we've got a different host. And
we stopped Millionaire about 5 years ago.
It runs on like NBC daytime before Days of Our Lives, unless the local NBC station decides to run like, what do you call it when it's like an hour-long block, which is just an advertisement for one product?
Oh, infomercials?
What?
Yeah. So you're either getting an infomercial or Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Who would sit there and watch an hour of someone saying, "Here's the new vacuum cleaner from G-Space.
Yes,
look at how great it clears your ground." Yeah. Who would watch an hour of that?
People who are stuck at home with nothing better to do.
It's the new Sillet Bang Variety Hour.
That airs at noon, so I just don't understand it.
Okay, so yeah, I think we can wrap this up then. If you liked listening to this podcast, you can visit us on our actual internet website, GameCola.net, or you can check out our YouTube channel, gc.net. It's the letter G, the letter C, the word dot, the word net. We're also on Twitter at GameCola. We're on Facebook. Search for GameCola. We're on Tumblr, gamecola.tumblr.com. You can find us on iTunes. If you liked us, you can rate us highly. If you did not like us, then I don't know why you continued listening to the entire hour and a half. But I mean, if you're here, then just don't bother looking for us on iTunes. I mean, why waste your time if you hated it so much?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, go to iTunes, rate us highly. And yeah, I think that's about it. Thank you everyone for listening, and thank you everyone for being here.
Thank you
You're
for
welcome.
having us.
Why are you thanking me? I haven't done anything.
You brought up the amazing topic which made me relive the horrors of my youth.
Yeah, thanks a lot, man.
That's
Gotta
okay.
have some spiders in my room tonight.
You're welcome.
I have to see Zombie Tootie's face every night when I go to sleep. So I've already lived through it.
Yeah, we might as well all suffer together. So, goodbye everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Life is unfair, so I just stare at the stain on the wall where
The TV's been,
but
ever
ever
since
since we moved
we
in,
moved in, it's been empty. Yeah. Trying to sing in sync over the internet, over Skype,
yeah.
several countries away, not gonna work.
Yeah, that wasn't that bad, actually.